I did tell you we'd only talk about Marcus Rashford when significant news and updates came along in his pursuit for leaving Manchester United, and we have very, very significant updates around Marcus Rashford's possible exit out of the football club. We've got Ornstein, we've got Fabrizio Romano, we've got everybody else reporting on them comments that they have made and they have tweeted out in the last hour, in fact, about Marcus Rashford and where we stand with him leaving United right now, who is in contention, who are the leading football clubs to come and take his signature. What does Marcus Rashford want in all of this? A bit more info from David Ornstein and the situation right now. We talked earlier on this morning in the live show about Manchester United actually looking at setting out their stall for the window and getting things done quickly and as efficiently as possible. Maybe we're looking at this into the Marcus Rashford scenario. We talked this morning when Ornstein came out and said Xerxes was out of the door. Well, we thought, you know what? Xerxes wasn't out the door, sorry. And when we said that this morning, it was like, okay, that's that put to bed. We're going for one target at left wing back. We're not bringing another forward in. Maybe we're just trying to concentrate on the big and most important deals, which is the one coming in and the couple going out. In Casemiro, which we spoke about this morning, but more importantly, what about the problem that is Marcus Rashford? Well, now we do have significant updates on that from Ornstein. First of all, actually, do you know what? I'm going to go into how it all went down from the get-go and what was said first of all, and we'll get all of your comments on this. We do these live update shows when there is something significant at midday, and I want to get your comments in on this as well. Let me know what you feel about this from what's been released today. Get your comments in there as well. Obviously, make sure that you have subscribed to the channel as well, so make sure you can get into the actual live chat as well. That's most important. So let's get into the headlines. Let's get into what has actually been said around Marcus Rashford. First of all, Ornstein broke it. Borussia Dortmund are now among a number of clubs considering a move to sign Marcus Rashford. We go on to do more. From Ornstein, this was said. No decision have been made by any party as of yet, and is plausible Rashford stays with Manchester United despite their willingness to part ways. But external interest is building and discussions are taking place to establish the viability of a temporary switch away from Old Trafford. That was that news. Then Romano comes out saying Galatasaray also approached Marcus Rashford this week, but he's prioritising other options in Europe's top 5 leagues now. That's one on the Turkish league, saying it all pretty much there, isn't it? In terms of, like, he doesn't actually look at it that way. In terms of everything else that's going on, Ornstein again then came out and said Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, Juventus and other Premier League suitors are weighing up an attempt to sign Marcus Rashford on loan for the rest of the season. Now, this is where it all gets a little bit interesting. There are multiple, not so much offers, but United have had an approach, and Rashford has had an approach from Galatasaray. We can say that, and Fabrizio Romano pretty much confirming that tells you that obviously everyone is testing the water to their standing. And by that I mean, like, Galatasaray, I think, are going to have to go above and beyond to get Rashford in. Again, like, I do look at it and say, in terms of the leagues that are lining up, where would you rather play? Bundesliga, Serie A, Premier League. The Turkish Premier League really comes down the bottom of that list, and that is with all due respect to that league and the quality teams that are in it. But if you're Marcus Rashford, you're probably looking at the other leagues, and I feel like Galatasaray have come in, boom, straight in there, get the approach in. Let's just make our voice heard, and let's just see what comes back. And what came back was pretty much on the same tone that we were talking this morning. Nope, not willing to go there. This is United's stance. You can't afford what we want from Marcus Rashford's exit, for even if it is 6-month loan. United are looking, I think, primarily at a loan deal with an obligation to buy. I do think we will go down the road of Jadon Sancho eventually, though, and it just comes down to what Ruben Amorims wants. He's not using him. He wants him away. So the club have to work with Ruben on this, I feel. And if they feel like, yeah, they're not going to get what they want in January, but they may have to wait a little bit and then come back to it in the summer. Look, there's a full summer with no international football. You got plenty of time to make the Rashford situation go away in the summer. And I feel like that's what we should be doing right now. Concentrate on what's happening in the league. Concentrate on where we're actually at now. And then if you can get rid of Marcus Rashford for the next few months, good. We'll come back to him in the summer and then we'll get rid of him permanently. Look, United may have to loan with option to buy. But what they'll do with that is probably get a bit of a loan fee from the start, like we did do with Borussia Dortmund, and make some money out of it. These wages will come down for what we're paying. Obviously, no one's going to pay Marcus Rashford's wages in full on loan. Or maybe that's what United could say. Look, if you want to take him on loan with an option, you cover all his wages for the rest of the season. And that will be about 9 million in wages from now until the end of the season anyway for Marcus Rashford and what his package is. So if there's anyone who's willing to actually pay his wages, and by all accounts, I heard earlier on as well, another report came out that AC Milan, who Ornstein has said are very interested in Marcus Rashford, are able to actually pay Marcus Rashford's wages. That's not a problem. They can afford it. It's the package with Manchester United that might be the stumbling block. So that's an interesting one to keep our eyes on. As it is, in terms of them teams that have been mentioned there, let's just look through them teams. Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, yes and yes, I would say. Premier League teams, yes. I think they're fully viable options for Marcus Rashford right now, and the only ones. Spain, forget it. The Italian clubs are able, for some reason, to be able to afford the wage packages of players, but they would obviously hit Manchester United with subsidising that as well. Obviously, I don't feel like United are going to be able to get rid of Rashford for 6 months and someone pay all of his wages and get an obligation in on top of that. That's a lot. That's a lot. But, I mean, there could be a stipulation obligation. Sounds obligation-ish, and shun-shuns, plenty of them in there in terms of this deal. But yeah, stipulation, obligation, and options. What do they mean in loan deals? Well, Manchester United would let Marcus Rashford go out on loan with a obligation to buy, with a stipulation put in by the loaning club that he has to hit a certain target in performances for them to actually trigger that obligation. For example, like what Chelsea have done with Jadon Sancho, whereas Chelsea have to finish 14th or above in the league this season to buy Jadon Sancho, i.e. that triggers the obligation. So if they finish 15th, they could walk away from Jadon Sancho and he comes back to Manchester United. I think that was the clearest obligation ever that it was going to be that was going to be seen through in that deal with Jadon Sancho and Chelsea, because of course Chelsea were never going to finish 15th in the league. My God, I'm saying that though, you've probably said that about United, and look where we are right now. You know what I mean? It's not easy to predict what goes on in the Premier League right now, but yeah, this is what happens now, and this is what will be happening with these negotiations that Romano and David Ornstein are talking about. It's what deal that they can talk through that works best for both, and that's difficult, extremely difficult, because I think United, with what we said this morning with Joshua Zirkzee, he's now staying because nobody wants to meet United's demands for him. Rashford's a different animal completely, and different because of everything that we've talked about with Ruben Amorims, the fallouts. Joshua Zirkzee's not falling out with Ruben Amorims. That's the difference right there. And we need another forward, because it doesn't now look like we're going to be able to get another forward this January. And like we said this morning, priority is now on a left wing back. So if Rashford goes, we can't get rid of Zirkzee. And maybe someone from the academy comes through towards the latter stages of the season, breaks through, and you just never know. United will then concentrate on a striker coming in the summer transfer window. So Rashford and his scenario, completely different to anything else at the club. He's a problem. We need to get rid of him. Maybe we can get more value from him if he's at another club doing well, and then we sell him on in the summer. That's how I look at it. Like what Ornstein says there is still a chance that he stays at United. But the problem with that is he's in and around Ruben Amorims and the progress he's trying to make with this squad. Look, the ultimate goal right now for Manchester United is to get rid of Marcus Rashford. The heavy negotiating side of it is to make that as sweet as possible for the football club on top. So when I look at AC Milan news coming out, for instance, and they can afford his wages, I would honestly just let him go out on loan and let him pay his wages. They're not going to be able to afford him, I don't think, because United want 50 million. I mean, I don't know. Like, if AC Milan feel like they're going to make the Champions League, maybe they can foresee that, finance, and deal with it. I don't know. That's their finances. But if they can afford his wages right now, United just... what I would say to AC Milan is, look, give us a small loan fee. Take him till the end of the season. If he hits a certain mark, then you have to buy him. That's your obligation. That would be my opening offer for AC Milan, for instance. They can clearly afford the package of the wages, according to reports. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just going off what was said, so I will make that very clear right now. That would be my prime target right there. Go and play in the San Siro. Go and play in Italy. Go and play for one of the biggest and most successful clubs in Europe, Marcus, and see what you can do. Do you know what? The Italian Serie A might actually suit you, like it has done a few Premier League players that were struggling week in, week out. Not naming any names, but obviously we know out of our experience with players that have left us and gone to Italy and done very well, it's quite clear that the Premier League is a step up. This may make Marcus Rashford look better than what he is. Therefore, if it doesn't work out at, say, Dortmund, Milan, wherever he goes, all of a sudden you're looking at a different Marcus Rashford on paper when the summer comes around. And by paper, I mean pound note paper. And United could probably cash in then and go out and buy the striker that they do want, Victor Gyökeres. That's in the perfect Championship Manager world that I'm playing on my computer right now, of course. And we were only fans talking about this and hoping more than anything else. But they're the facts and they're what are out there right now. Galatasaray turned away. Ornstein said that there was never an offer from the Saudi Pro League. So Saudi gone, Turkish League gone. We're now looking at Syria and we're looking at the Bundesliga. So the La Liga gone, Spain, no one can afford him, but it does look now that Serie A is the favourite. But I did say, and I've always said this, and you can go back on the other videos, Marcus Rashford and Dortmund, don't count it out. Seriously, this is an option for Marcus Rashford right now. So I look at this and go, there is a chance that we could make something work here. We've done it before. Dortmund can afford a loan fee. They can afford more on performance basis as well, like we've seen. They may need that little bit of a kick to help them get back up there in the table in the Bundesliga. They're not doing bad. So let's just see what comes of this, and let's see if Marcus Rashford actually is up for going elsewhere. And if, like Romano says, he's concentrating on the other top 5 leagues in Europe and not looking at the Turkish league, then okay, Marcus, let's see what you've got. Let's see if you are real. Let's see if you are true to your word on this one. But they're my thoughts on this. Honestly, if you was to ask me right now, I like the look of AC Milan in terms of not thinking like what's best for Rashford, for us, and actually getting rid of him. I like the look of what they're offering, because them stories about them being able to afford his wages, I think, suit United right now. And do you know what? I said there, my opening offer to AC Milan would be, there's a small loan fee, pays wages, and obligation if he hits a certain amount of goals, you qualify for the Champions League, whatever position in the league, whatever it may be, just go with that. That's your opening offer. That may then come down to, well, no, we'll give you a small loan fee, we'll pay a part of his wages, and then we will have an option to buy at the end. United will turn that down and probably go, okay, loan fee, full wages, option to buy at the end, no commitment. And then we'll just work our way down in between. But you can see how it's working out, and you can see what's happening with. So let's just look at it. Let's look at it that way. I think that's the best way that you can do right now. I think negotiations and contacts and what Manchester United's stance is what's being talked about right now. And obviously we've made it very clear to Galatasaray, and they've been binned off straight away. But now I think it's really interesting what happens with Dortmund and AC Milan in particular. I think they're the ones that will definitely be front runners for this. I'm going to get into the chats right now. First of all, Tiddy Brown with a super chat says, should insist on sale. Rashford will then need to decide if wages are more important than his desire to play for England. I mean, Tiddy Brown, I've seen a few other people in the chat talk about this as well. When we talked about the scenario of Marcus Rashford and why this is actually different to Joshua Zirkzee, for instance, it's because he wants to play for England. And Marcus Rashford cannot risk dealing with Ruben Amorims for another 6 months and not playing because he's not training the way that he wants him to. This shows me that the fallout between the two is bigger than what people first thought, and there is something serious going on behind the scenes. So I look at this and go, right, okay, Rashford wants England. He wants to play for England. I don't think he's getting into that international team under Tuchel at all this year if he is in England playing for Manchester United. If he goes to another Premier League club, fair enough. Maybe that they can make something of it. Maybe Arsenal should pump up a loan fee and take him and maybe put him up front as the extra option. He might flourish there under Arteta. Honestly, I do not care. We're not challenging Arsenal right now. It's 6 months in. Marcus Rashford may put himself out there and be absolutely brilliant. In fact, I hope Rashford goes to Arsenal, helps them win the league, helps them win the Champions, do whatever, win everything. Go win everything everywhere else, Marcus Rashford. Because what does that do? That takes a player away that's not working for the most important man at Manchester United, which is Ruben Amorims, the coach, and it makes the man more valuable, and United will definitely be able to sell him in the summer. Go and win everything somewhere else, Marcus. I want you to succeed. I really do. I just think it's time that you moved on from Manchester United, and I think that is the most important thing to remember in all of this. We all want him to do well for other reasons. We want him to do well so we can move him on. That's what we hoped would happen with him at United this season. But my God, after what he did last season, to then do what he's done this season, honestly, he cannot stay at United, and Ruben will not have him. And this is the big push. I think this is why everybody's talking about it right now. So let's hope that they can get this down and get this deal done. But it does come down to what Rashford wants, and that's playing for England. So yes, I feel like that ultimately is why we're talking right now in the terms of whatever deal Manchester United could get and negotiations are on. I think it's going to happen. I do. And my money's on Milan more than anything else. It's just if you was to ask me, I think Milan. But like I said before, I'm not counting out Borussia Dortmund in any of this. Let's get into some of your comments on this one. Wow, we've done 16 minutes already. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the video. Another little quick live show in the middle of the day, keeping you updated with everything. We are closing in on that 70,000 subscriber mark. Please do me a favour, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Then you can get into the live chat as well and get your comments across. Let's get up there. I want that 70k this week. I'm sure we can make it. By the way, we are doing a watch-along on Football Talks tonight for the Arsenal-Newcastle first leg semi-final. We're going straight after our evening show here on FUTV into that live watch-along again. So make sure that you're there for that one, and we'll continue the whole day's conversation over there about anything football-related that you want. I have just put a video out on Football Talks as well about how Nottingham Forest can win the Premier League. Yeah, go check that out. Links in the live chat. I'm not kidding either. David says, also, Marcus has declined publicly he wants to leave and wants to play in the World Cup. He may be forced into a pay cut. There is no way that Dortmund can or want to afford Rashford's wages. No. But like we said, there will be a subsidised offer on there like we had to do with Jadon Sancho. But what Manchester United did do with Sancho was they moved a player away that wasn't worth anything to the club. He thrived in Germany. We got 10 million in loan fees. We got a bit of his wages off the books. And then we managed, because of that, to negotiate a deal where he then went to Chelsea and we got another 25 million for him. So, ideal scenario, go with that. If we got that, I'd be happy with that. Obviously, we want a little bit more for Marcus Rashford. But honestly, right now, if we managed to grab together 35 million and got this man off our books, I would jump at that opportunity. We need Rashford to lower his wage demands to get out of the club. I don't think he will do. Is any player going to? I doubt it. Why do I get the feeling Rashford won't go anywhere? Don't think like that. Think positive. Rashford going nowhere. He is the Glazers' biggest assets. Stephen, see, okay, on that one, I have to shut anyone down who starts thinking that he's an asset to the football club. If he's not playing, he's zero asset. He's zero asset. He's not the most popular shirt sale at the football club, and while he's not playing, he's irrelevant as an asset. So forget that idea. That is not even in the conversation. I have a feeling Marcus will end up staying. I'm moving on from these comments. Like, seriously. I would seriously question Rashford's commitment to and motivation around playing football, full stop. I think he'll throw a party when this utter waster is out of the club. Come on, Ineos, make it happen. If Dortmund want him, it's double the price. Liam's not happy with our dealings before with Dortmund, obviously. I get you. I do. They have ripped us off quite a few times before. Milan also offered a loan guaranteed fee to Liverpool for Nunes, so they want a striker. Yeah, I push on to AC Milan, like I said. Amorim makes around 6.7 million a year, which is around roughly 130 grand a week. So no, Casemiro earns way more. Let's just see. Ridwan, same. I hope he wins everything when he leaves, and anyone but Liverpool. Liverpool won't buy Rashford. Would love to see Rashford go to Forest, help them qualify for the Champions League, and be the understudy to Elanga. I like that one. That's a good one. Flash Talk says, roll on February 1st. New story will come out tomorrow. He's staying 7 days into the year. I am exhausted. Don't worry, mate. This is United. This is United. Nottingham Forest reminds me of the old days, that their system isn't suitable. Surely they'll drop next season. It don't matter about next season. It's all about the now, isn't it, with them? I think they're just riding that wave at the moment, aren't they? Casemiro, Marcus, Rashford. Look at Milan's highest earners, says David. Elaborate on that, buddy. I'm guessing, on about half Rashford's wages at Milan. Look, they may want to just push themselves forward. Look, either way, we're not saying they're going to pay the whole wages. The reports out that they can afford it and they can make the deal happen because they're not paying a fee. That's what you've got to look at. If they're not transferring him in, they may want to just spend £9 million on wages from now until the end of the season. And that basically is them avoiding a transfer fee. So when you look at it that way, okay, from now until the end of the season, we've got Marcus Rashford who could get us into the Champions League and a guaranteed £65 million for £9 million. Should we take that gamble? Well, look at where they are in the league. They would judge that. They would look at it, where we can fit in, and make a decision on that. That's what you've got to look at. That's how you break it down. And that's what it is right now for a club if they want to pay Marcus Rashford's full wages right now. But let's not forget, when you're talking about what Marcus Rashford's on now, his contract, and then you add the loan to it. So, when you say Marcus Rashford's on 350 grand a week or whatever, take 25% of that off. And that's what clubs will have to pay. Because all it is marrying up to what he's on at his parent club at the moment, which is United, which is his wages this year, because United are not in the Champions League. People seem to forget that little bit of the deal and how important that is as well. So it is coming now under 300 grand a week in wages for Marcus Rashford. So that brings it down a little bit. And like I said, if that is the case and you're looking at a club looking to spend maybe £7 million and take him for the rest of this season, that at least saves Man United a little bit of money. It's not that expensive for them. They're probably in a better position and know that they've got a really good chance of making the Champions League. And if they feel like Rashford will make a tiny little bit of a difference, they may go for it. And that's the case with Antonio Conte at Napoli as well. Like, fighting Atalanta for the title right now, Rashford could give them that boom, that little bit extra in the last 5 months of the season. He goes for it. Antonio Conte will jump all over that. So that's what you have to reckon in as well. It is big, and Rashford could be the difference. And this is the gamble. This is the sort of, what you say, considered gamble that a lot of football clubs will be looking at right now with this deal. You've got a recognised player that has shown world-class capabilities very, very, very infrequently. I'll say that. But they may look at that and go, different scenario, different scene. Look what's happened to Lukaku from the Premier League. Look what's happened with Scott McTominay from the Premier League. Not doing well at United, out of favour, but these are good players. Maybe the Italian league is perfect. And you know what? The benefit of what happened with McTominay could roll into this. And clubs will look at that and pay attention to it. So don't disregard what Rashford is for us and the value he may be for someone else. That's how you have to look at it. I think I've pretty much broke it down well there in terms of how the structure might work for teams. And it is more than viable that Marcus Rashford can move to Serie A or the Bundesliga for that matter. Well, he could actually get himself another winner's medal. Marcus Rashford could go somewhere and win a league. He could go play in the Champions League. This is what he's thinking right now. If he's in the Champions League, he's in Tuchel's team. That's what's going on in his head. I'm hoping that Thomas Tuchel is looking past that, obviously, for my England side of things and how I look to England. So let's honestly just be real with what's happening right now. There is a chance he stays, but it's a big problem for everybody. And United, I think, will end up taking a smaller package deal just to get him out of the door, and that's why Xerxes is staying as well. I think United's transfer window is pretty much set up perfectly right now for what we need to do. That, guys, is everything pretty much covered. That is your quick fire update show. Thank you so much. We do these quick fire ones when the news is, when the news is there, and we keep you up to date. We're back at 6:30 this evening with the full update interactive show. That will be backed up on Football Talks by the watch along for Arsenal against Newcastle. So join us for that here on YouTube as well. And obviously, make sure you check out the latest video on Football Talks as well, which is why Nottingham Forest will win the league. The link is in the live chat. Go and watch my reasons why. I challenge you right now to not go and watch that video and come back and agree with me. Not agree with me. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, go on. Tell me why I'm wrong. That's what I want you to do. That link in the live chat right now. Just go and watch the video. Short video, 7 minutes. Won't take much of your time. And tell me that I'm wrong in that. And we'll discuss this later on Football Talks on the watch along as well. But I honestly feel that that is capable. Anything's happening right now. The Premier League is a crazy place. Crazy place. Anyway, that is it. More updates to come later on. Please like the video on your way out. That should take us to 300. And that's the show all wrapped up and done. Thank you, everybody. We are literally 100 subscribers away from 70k. Mega. Thank you, everybody. Subscribe. Get your comments in below when the live is finished. And I'll see you all later on at 6:30. Have a great afternoon, people.